You know what they say, fourth time's the charm. What's happening to me these past 2 weeks? Why am I struggling so hard to record? I don't know. I've had to start recording this episode 4 times because I keep messing up my intro. That is exactly 2 sentences that I've been saying for the past 125 weeks. And you would imagine that by this point I should be able to say it like fluently and without stuttering, but no, no. And my voice, I don't know when I started the first time, my voice was there. Okay, now I feel like it's better. You know what? Something is out to get me this past month, like every single time, well, not past month, past 2 weeks, something's out to get me. My immune system is so low because I've not been sleeping properly. I've not slept more than 6 hours, and I want to say 3 weeks, and that's really catching up to me. And today, because I went to watch the World Cup. Did I say my intro? Did I say hello, everyone? Welcome or welcome back to Dirty Martini. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having an amazing day. I don't know if I said that, so if I didn't, that's me saying it. But yesterday I went to watch the World Cup finale at a friend's place, and it was like a whole ass house party. And today is my day off. And I was like, you know what? I am going to sleep in. I'm not going to set an alarm because the only thing I had to do today was go to the local museum because I was like, you know what? I've not been to that museum in a long time and they have a new exhibition. Let me go and check it out. And then I went online to check the opening times because there is like a weird thing. Well, weird, I don't know, odd or unconventional, let's put it like this thing in the Netherlands, that a lot of things are closed on Mondays and they keep them open throughout the weekend for tourists, and then a lot of things are closed on Monday. So I just wanted to check out if the museum is open so that I don't just go and waste my time by going there and it being closed. And I opened just to see that it's temporary closed for the next like 3 to 4 weeks because they're actually like moving this exhibition that I wanted to see. So maybe I should have gone last week, but last week I was like, honestly, not to be sounding like a Dutchie, but my agenda was full. So I was like, yeah, that was the only thing I had to do today. And then hang out with a friend because he's moving outside of the Netherlands for whoever knows how long, if ever. He'll come back, I don't know, and then I'll go watch the Odyssey. But let's take it step by step. So I like, like a very chill off day. And I was like, I want to sleep. And especially because like we finished the watch party and then we started like talking and like partying and shit. I mean, yeah. And partying, I don't know like what in terms of like I personally didn't dance because my knee was like, you know what, you're not dancing. I had to sit down because my lower back was like, you're not standing up. And I did not want to drink because I just did not want to drink. So I still had a lot of fun. That's what I'm trying to say, even though it may not constitute your traditional type of partying by me just sitting on the bench and looking at people. I still had a lot of fun, okay? And I still went home at around like 3-ish, and then by the time I went like got to bed it was 4, and I was like, I am not going to set an alarm. I deserve to sleep until noon. And then well, not my housemates, my neighbors decided that now's the time to start drilling at 8 a.m. And I was like, guys, I know it's a weekday and I know people are working, but like, come on. And then they stopped and I managed to fall asleep. And the second, I am not over exaggerating, the second I managed to fall asleep, someone very consistently and persistently rings the doorbell. And it was my other neighbor because he was away for how I don't know how long, and he had a package that they delivered to our house because he could not accept it. And he was like, yeah, my package. I was like, what happened to hello? What happened to good morning? What happened to please and thank you? What are the magical words? Hello? Um, but yeah, and then I just simply gave up on sleeping because I was like, it's not meant for me. But the thing is, by the time you're watching this, I'll hopefully have arrived safely in Bulgaria. Um, I so the thing is, when I'm in Bulgaria, my mom's always like, because I sometimes I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go out. I just want to sleep in and I just want to rest. I want to have a chill evening by myself. And I know it's Friday evening and I know my friends are all here and they're going to go and have the most amazing time. But I just want to sleep. And she's like, don't you dare sleep through your youthhood. It's youthhood? Youth. Youth. The word is youth. The word youthhood does not exist. Um, yeah. And she's always like, you will go and you sleep in the Netherlands when you go to the Netherlands because, like, in the Netherlands, you're not as social because, like, you constantly work and you constantly study. So you sleep there. In Bulgaria, when you're in Bulgaria, you're going to go out and have fun. And because you cannot make memories from sleeping. Although, like, I woke up today also, like, in those few hours that I managed to get, like, take a nap basically, I had a terrible dream that my best friend, my childhood best friend, and I'm going to text her this, if you're watching this, why would you do that to me? Because, like, in my dream she just says, you're such a terrible texter. I'm no longer want to be your friend. Our friendship has been stagnant, so fuck you. And she just ditches me. Don't you dare do that to me. I know it takes me 6 months to reply to you, but I'll literally take a bullet for you. Just don't make me respond on time, okay? Like, I'm just not made to be a good texter, okay? Okay, I love you. Um, and basically now I've been quite social the past few weeks because I've not had to study. I've been working, but, like, I've not been getting, like, I have more time because, like, after work I don't have to go home and study, so I have the chance to be social. And the thing is, don't you ask me to go out because I will say yes and I really need to sleep. So I've not been able to sleep here. And according to my mom, the Netherlands is my designated sleep venue, sleep country. And I know that when I go to Bulgaria, I'll be too excited to go to bed because I want to see my family, I want to see my friends, I want to see my home. So the next time I'll properly sleep will be in September when I come back here. And that's quite far from now, considering that I've also not slept properly the last few weeks. It's definitely going to be interesting, but that's a problem for future me because current me is actually having the time of her life and I'm socializing and I'm enjoying it. As you can probably tell by my voice, I'll keep, like, trying to. I really, really hope you can hear me and I really hope it's not really annoying. But yeah, what can I say, man? I have felt very young and very alive and very free. But what I wanted to say is that Spain won the World Cup. And that was so beautiful. And at this party, there were a few Spaniards, and it was so nice to see how much it meant for them, how much this win was such a monumental moment in their life. And I'm proud to announce that I have been granted the title of an honorary Latina because I firmly believe that Slavic people and Latino people, we are the same. We just live in different seasons because we are the winter Latinos and they are the summer Slavs. And I have been noticing these similarities ever since I started being surrounded by Latino people, ever since I moved here, because we're so like this, and the mentality is so similar, and just the cultures are so, so similar. And we just come from collectivist cultures, and, like, just the way we practice life, the way we eat, like, just eating late at night instead of eating at 6 in the evening. And it's just such a bonding experience, even though we don't speak the same language, even though we don't come from the same countries. I know it's probably sounding like a bit superficial, but no, like legitimately, there are so many similarities between Slavic people and Latino people, and mi gente Latino, mi gente Latino. Um, but yeah, it's just, and I've also lived with Italians, my and well, Spanish people only the first year, but like Italians, are Italians considered Latino? I don't know, but like for the sake of the argument, they are. Um, but basically, like having lived with Italians for the past 5 years, I just see, like, for example, we believe in the same superstitions. We have the same knocking on wood, like doing this, like pulling your ear, like everything. It's so, so similar. And it's so nice. And just when you see someone, like when a Nordic person or like a Western European sees us interact like this, and like someone says something bad, and we immediately are like this, and like we start doing the cup song, and yada, yada. They just think that we're outrageous and crazy. And it's like, what's going on. Uh, but that's something that's just like a spiritual connection that we have. And that's why, honestly, like for example, if let's say we're talking in terms of partners, if let's say my partner is from a Nordic country or like a Western European or like somewhere else, like outside of Europe, I would have to explain and translate my culture. But if my partner is from why does my phone keep getting notifications? I am literally on do not disturb. Who dare call me when I'm so busy? And I know that this is not correct grammar, but Albena Vuleva said that. And we do not misquote the queen. Okay? Okay. Um, but I know that like if my partner is from Latin America or just like a Latino, whatever, I don't know. I don't know the correct suffix. I will not have to explain my culture because they would just get it. Because like imagine explaining, like I'm Balkan, I'm Bulgarian, I'm Slavic. Imagine explaining to like someone that during your wedding, uh like your like husband to be, the groom, has to go and abduct the wife and give her a lot of money for that, and they have to knock down the door. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But that's not my problem as of now, and like no prospects for it being a problem anytime soon. Anyways, yeah, so congratulations to Spain. I was rooting for you guys. We were all rooting for you, and you did not disappoint. So congratulations. Enjoy that win. And what I was saying is like may the best colonizer win. So I guess the best colonizer won. Anyways, guys, later today, in a 20 minutes I'll have to leave. I will be watching the Odyssey. Now, the thing is, if younger me heard that, she would be like, "You're doing what?" Because, okay, not to sound like I don't know the name of the influencer, please forgive me. But this beauty influencer that's like, okay, you need to sit down. I'm getting a divorce. Not to sound like this, but you need to sit down. I don't like Greek mythology. I'm sorry. And let me explain. Let me explain. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. So, like I've already mentioned, I'm Balkan. My country, if you look at a map, borders Greece. In our educational system, we had to study Greek mythology. And I've studied Greek mythology ever since I was 12. Now, do the Greek people study Bulgarian literature? I don't know. Uh, but I've had to read Homer. I've had to read the Iliad. I've had to read the Odyssey. I've had to read like a lot of other um poems, epic poems, and I hated every single one of them. And don't cancel me. I've never seen and I've never read Percy Jackson. And that's because I did not like Greek mythology. Now, let me explain why. Well, imagine that you're 11 years old and it's summer, and all you want to do is go outside of your communist living building, go into the little yard in between the buildings, and play dodgeball with your best friend. And then you cannot do that because you're supposed to sit at home and just study whose Zeus slept with, which, spoiler alert, is everyone. And it's just those epic poems and these Greek mythology. I don't want to say tales because I feel like that's not the correct word, but for the lack of better word, I'm going to use tales. Were the thing we had to study throughout the summer vacation, and they would test us on who Zeus would have slept with, which, spoiler alert, is everyone. And this continued into from my middle school to my high school, and we would have this thick of literature books about Greek mythology. And it's like, I think I would have really, really enjoyed it did I not have to, had I not been obligated to study it. Because I can see the appeal and I can see how it's so captivating. But having to make a family tree of Zeus and everyone he slept with, which, spoiler alert, is everyone, and memorize that by heart and be able to tell who is whose child, but also the fact that they slept with their mom, but they also slept with their dad and they had children of their own and there's incest. And it's like, it's too much. Okay. It's too much for me to remember like hundreds of gods and remember who they slept with, which, spoiler alert, is everyone. And that's why I did not enjoy Greek mythology. And the thing is, I've studied so much this Greek mythology and I've studied so much of Homer. And you know what's the saddest thing? I do not remember a single thing because I was forced to study it. I would study it up until the point of the exam. I would do my exam, I would pass my exam, and then everyone's you slept with, which, spoiler alert, say it with me, is everyone, would immediately, like, in out a ear, out the other. Because, like, why would I need, like, it's none of my business who sleeps with who, okay? Okay. So what happens behind closed door happens behind closed door, okay? I think my grammar in that sentence was also like just impeccable, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not my first language. Um, and just like having to analyze every word that Homer used was a bit much, I would say. And I find it fascinating that I don't remember a single thing, to the point that now, when I booked the tickets, I was like, let me refresh my memory and let me look up a shorter summary of what the Odyssey is about. Because I feel like, I don't know how the movie is going to be set up, but I feel like it would be nice to have not that it's a prerequisite, but it's nice to have some knowledge of the story so that you can appreciate it and so that you're not lost. And then I just opened up YouTube and I was like, The Odyssey, epic poem short summary. Guys, I found a 6 minute epic short, a 6 minute summary of the epic poem. I got through 40 seconds and immediately I was bored. And immediately my PTSD was triggered. And I immediately started thinking about my best friend and how much I want to play dodgeball with him. I think there's just like, maybe one day I'll recover. And maybe one day I will be able to enjoy Greek mythology and appreciate. I mean, I do appreciate it as art, but having to memorize Zeus and who he slept with, which, say it with me, I'll hold your hand. Spoiler alert, is everyone, is a bit too much. Can I stop getting messages, for fuck's sake? Why am I like, no one ever texts me? Normally, it's just little to tell me that they have, like, oh, Martina, we've missed you. Check out our summer deals. You can buy a watermelon for €5, which is what I went and did. And that watermelon is overripe and it's not nice. But what can I expect for €5? Watermelon from Lidl, whatever. Um, so I'm actually very, very excited for the movie because I've not seen a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. Okay, I've not seen Oppenheimer. Forgive me, forgive me. I just when it came out, I went to see Barbie, and then I just never went to watch Oppenheimer. I don't know why, but I also feel like that's the type of movie. Christopher Nolan movies are the type of movies that you must see in the cinema. I know he films for IMAX, and I actually don't know. I think I'm seeing it in an IMAX screen, but I'm not sure because I think there is. I mean, like the hall is 500 seats, so it better be an IMAX screen. Also, this is something I'm going to miss when I go to Bulgaria. Just large ass cinema halls, because in my hometown we barely have a cinema. We barely have a cinema. And I'm not sure it's not a money laundering place. But allegedly, allegedly, okay? No one sue me. Also, you don't know where I'm from. It's easily lookable. Look upable. But don't look it up. Um, but yeah, and basically, I am excited to see the movie because I think, well, I've seen Interstellar in the cinema. Interstellar was the very first movie I went to see by myself. So it has a very special place in my heart. And it's what I mean by Christopher Nolan movies are made in for the cinema is my laptop that is now with changed screen, because as I informed you, I broke my screen because I was a dumbass and I did not pay attention, and this luxurious thing cost me €200 basically. My screen, doesn't matter the fact that it's just a few weeks old, cannot replicate the feeling that this movie would evoke in the theater, which is why when it came out, I was like, I gotta see. Let's go. Let's go. That's, please tell me that's also you've seen those videos on TikTok and I am not just sounding like an absolute creep right now. But same also for Spider-Man, bro. I'm so fucking excited for Spider-Man. Basically, I'm excited for everything Zendaya is in. Because this woman, she's having a generational year. She has so many good movies coming out this year. I never talked to you about the drama, but I did go to see the drama. And like, Zendaya's best movie is always the next one. Zendaya's best look is always the next one. And just seeing her and Law eat up every single red carpet, Jesus Christ, like, to me, Zendaya is unbeatable. She is the epitome, she's the icon, she is in a category of her own. She's a triple threat. And actually, I don't know if it's solely a triple threat. She is just everything. I don't know if I want to be her or be with her. Jesus Christ, what a power couple. I'm so happy for her and Tom Holland, and just like the Odyssey being a family affair for them the same way Spider-Man is. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. And I'm so happy for them. And shout out to them because I really, really love them. I grew up with Zendaya. For me, she's always been a celebrity crush. She's always been on a pedestal, which I know is not correct to put celebrities on a pedestal. But this woman is just something else. And if I could see her one day and shake her hand and be like, you're the shit, I'll cry. I will cry. Because this woman, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, you cannot outdo the doer, but Zendaya as the doer, always outdoes the doer. She's Her only competition is herself. And I'm just very excited. I'm really hoping, okay, something to recognize for the Odyssey as in terms of cast. It's a very star-studded cast, which of course it's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year, not only because it's Christopher Nolan, but also because of the cast, because it's like an A-lister, followed by an A-lister, followed by an A-lister, followed by an A-lister. So it's bound to be one of the biggest grossing movies of the year for sure, even though it just came out like what, a few days ago. I'm sure it's going to break some records. That's no doubt. However, I really find merit in the argument that you picking up and feel what's the word, like making a movie out of a Greek mythology story. It would have been nice to have Greek actors there. I'm sure there's amazing Greek actors there who would, I don't want to say appreciate a story more, but like, it would mean more for them and like appreciate the story more. Because like, I do see the appeal of using A-listers for such a big production because it's an expensive production. You don't want to take any risks. You want to create something culturally monumental in 2026. But at the same time, I do really think it would have been nice for the story to have included Greek actors and actresses. That would have been that would have done the story justice in terms of casting and plot. But I do see merit in the argument, and I do see merit in the casting as it is. I don't know, man. I really, really don't know. I just wish Eastern Europeans, and like, I know there's some Greeks that are offended when I say they're Eastern Europeans. Like, you guys, you're Eastern European. Come on. And don't you dare say like you're Southern European. Like, I know you're Southern European. So am I. Like, but we're Southeastern European. Okay. Okay. So it would be nice for our little corner of the world to be recognized and to not only be aligned with poverty and the Soviet Union and the East Bloc. Like, it would be nice. It would be nice if um we were part of the equation. As of yet, not fully, but Dara and Nikola are paving the way for us. And Nina Dobrev and shit, Maria Bakalova. I get it. I get it. Like, we are like carving, clawing our way into the conversation, and it would be nice to be on the table and to have your stories be told by you instead of someone taking someone else to tell your story and embody you when you're already there to embody yourself and represent yourself. I do see the merit in that, and I really, really hope we are progressively going to see more representation. And I'm really, really hoping we're going to see Eastern European representation that's not only connected to, oh, the regressive East and like the East that is just non-democratic, that's corrupt, that's homophobic, that's racist, that's just the enemy because of, and I've talked about this before. It's purely the power of Hollywood, and Hollywood being an American industry, and basically the narrative of the regressive East was developed during the Cold War because, like, America, USSR, like, it makes sense why the Easterners were presented as the villains, as they were the opposition in that time. Um, but I feel like we should be able to move past this. And like, uh, although I hate these stereotypes, what I do sometimes is I use those stereotypes both to degrade me, to work for me. Because if someone on the street approaches me and I start speaking in Bulgarian, they hear a Slavic language and they're scared. Pros and cons, I guess. Pros and cons. But I'm kind of putting a lot of faith in this movie today that it's going to, um, in a way, I would have said revive my love, but I've never really loved Greek mythology. So maybe put a stepping stone in my love for Greek mythology, because I feel like it can be very fascinating to engage with as a narrative if you don't have to memorize the chronological order of who's you slept with, which, spoiler alert, is everyone. Um, yeah, I am very, very excited for this. What I find interesting is, when I was booking the tickets, I saw that there was going to be an intermission. I, in my 24 years of life, have been to the cinema quite a few times. I have never seen a movie with an intermission. And the thing is, yes, it is a long movie. It is like 2.5 or 3 hours. Let me just check. Let's check. The Odyssey 2026 length is it going to pop up? 2 hours and 52 minutes. Okay, it is a long movie. Damn, it has a really high score. It's 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Has that ever really happened? Jesus Christ, that's impressive. Okay, I'm actually getting very, very excited. But I know it's a long movie, but guys, I feel like we should be able to concentrate for 3 hours. Maybe it's nice for hydration breaks and for toilet breaks. Hydration breaks is something I also found a bit odd during the World Cup, because same way with intermission, same way with hydration break, completely, in my opinion, you can disagree, completely ruins the momentum of the team in terms of football, uh but also just like disrupts the entire rhythm. And this separate, like, I feel like if the director wanted us to watch the movie with an intermission, he would have added an intermission. And I know it's nice in terms of, yeah, going to the toilet or like whatever. I do get that. I think it would be nice for people who, for example, would require to get up and whatever. Um, but at the same time, we should be able to sit through something for 3 hours, I feel like. And it's just like, it just really can disrupt, like I said, the rhythm, the momentum, and also the mindset. Because like when I watch a movie, if I'm really interested in the movie, time goes by like this. Like this. Not to be like Thanos, but like it snaps and it's gone. Um and I just feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Am I just a hater? Because like, for example, it's not with an intermission in Bulgaria. It's just, I think an intermission just remained a thing here as like a phenomenon, which again, I see its merit, but also I feel like we can pull through. I wonder if there was an intermission for I was about to say Barbenheimer. Well, I literally said Barbenheimer for Oppenheimer when it came out here, because it is still like a very long movie. I think Oppenheimer was even longer than the Odyssey. No, let's check. Oppenheimer movie. Oppenheimer was exactly 3 hours. Then it also has a very high score. It has an 8.2 on IMDb and 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Should I watch one of the like most famous movies made in the last decade, and movie that basically won every award there was to win? Could it be potentially that I been depriving myself of watching a nice story? But that was also me with Interstellar. I never, like, the sole reason I went to watch Interstellar was because it was in the cinema, because there was like I believe it was a 10-year anniversary re-release, and I was like, I have not been in the cinema for a while. And that's not only is it when I went to the cinema for the first time by myself and fell in love with going to the cinema by myself, um, but also that was when the idea of going to the cinema every month became a goal for me. And that goal has been so incredibly easy to keep up with this year because the cinema is on a generational run to the point that I have to, from a purely financial reason, um, cherry pick what movie to go to. Because, like, I want to see the Minions, I want to see Moana or Vaiana in Europe, I want to see, what is it, the Odyssey, I want to see Spider-Man, and there's like another one, and it's like that will cost you $150. That will literally cost you $150. um but it's art, and it's an industry that we should keep alive, in my opinion, the cinema. I've shared my opinion on this quite a few times here. I would say the cinema is, in my opinion, one of the best industries. Well, in terms of like how it treats its people, I don't know, but like in terms of art, it is. And it's, oh, I just did something to my ankle. Oh, because I wanted to be like so nonchalant for you to not see the way I move my leg and like readjusted man spread, but I just did something to my ankle. Jesus Christ. It's so fun being in your 20s and then you sneeze and you throw out your back. What is going to happen in the next 60 years? Jesus Christ. Um but yeah, oh, people keep texting me. Jesus Christ, I'm so popular. Yes, I bought the tickets. Okay. Um, I forgot. Like, I am all over the place, guys. I'm all over the place. I'm going to blame this on sleep deprivation, not on the fact that I've not entered and pressed this episode and press record having any plans. Because I did not have any plans. My literal idea for today was greet Spain for the win and say that you're going to see the Odyssey and explain why you don't like Greek mythology. Um, yeah, yeah, but that's basically why I don't like Greek mythology. And then I remember my sister, for one of my birthdays, she gifted me the Trials of Apollo, one of the books, because I believe it's a series. She gifted me one of the books and I read it and I was like, those names sound so familiar. I know I'm supposed to know who you are, and I know that like the name should evoke so many connotations, and I should, it should be even without the context of in which it's originally introduced. I should know, and like this is going to add so many layers to the story. Yet I knew like shit. I did not know anything. I'm again trying to nonchalantly adjust my knee and my leg. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should stop recording on the floor. Um we all know that's not going to happen. Well, like the budget that we're working with here is a smile and a dream. Okay? Yes. And like last week when I struggled so much to adjust my microphone and set it up, and I was like, did I break my microphone? And like I just bought this. I cannot afford a new one. But it's all good. It's all good. That's my most prized possession. And I am trying to keep it as safe as possible. Like I'm looking out for it as if I'm looking out for my two eyes. Even though like I keep ignoring a bit my eyes, but that's another topic. Jesus Christ, guys. Today I feel like we're literally just on FaceTime and I'm just like yapping for the sake of yapping. But that's okay. Because it's my podcast and I can talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about. Um, but yeah, I really, really think that had I, for example, read Percy Jackson, maybe, or watched the movies, maybe my perception of Greek mythology would be different and maybe I would not be such a hater. Um, but I feel like, well, it's not too late to read the books, but I feel like the target audience is younger children. And yes, sure, I do read my teen no romance novels. I'm currently reading The Summer I Turned Pretty. Don't even ask me why. I'm I'm sorry, wasting my time. Can I just say that like Okay, this is going to sound so disrespectful, but it's just like the characters lack so much depth. And I feel like, sure, combining it alongside the series, you can get a bit of a plot. Um, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not going to say this because it's going to be mean. Anyways, but like, it's similar with Harry Potter. Like, maybe Harry Potter has a universal appeal, but for example, because when I was turning 18 and I hadn't read a single page, a single word from Harry Potter, and before I say anything, no, I do not support J.K. Rowling. No, I do not support her transphobic comments. I am talking, and like, I know I've made comments about like separating the art from the artist, and that you cannot, because like art is very, very personal. So you cannot make this distinction. But I am talking about Harry Potter because I feel like it's such an iconic piece of media that like people still keep talking about it despite not supporting the author, which is not supporting the transphobia is extremely valid, and it's to be expected in the big year of 2026. um but what was I wanted to say is that when I was turning 18, I hadn't read a single word of Harry Potter, and I felt like, oh, it feels like I cannot transition into legal adulthood, having not read one of the most iconic universes of for in children's books. And then I went to read it, and I read all of like the entire series. Well, the last few books that are plays I've not read, but doesn't matter. Um, and I remember thinking how much I would have enjoyed it if I read this as a child. If I was 11 or 12 and reading Harry Potter, I would have eaten it up. The same way, for example, I would have eaten up The Summer I Turned Pretty when I was 16. If you had given me these 2D characters, plotless, very dull characters as a 16-year-old, I would have eaten it up and I would have not questioned a single word on there. But now, with my taste hopefully having evolved, with my critical and analytical skills having developed, I think I just demand more from literature, and I demand more from movies. And like, I cannot read The Summer I Turned Pretty now and enjoy the same way I would have enjoyed it when I was 16, because I'm not 16 anymore, and I've not been 16 for a while. Um, and the same way, I feel like had I watched Percy Jackson as a child, maybe my perception and my stance on Greek mythology would be different. And by the way, I hope that you don't perceive this as me hating on the Greeks. I love my brothers and sisters. It's just I really did not appreciate being deprived from the opportunity to play dodgeball with my best friend in the middle of June because I had to study who Zeus had sex with, which, spoiler alert, was everyone. But yeah, you know what? I think I'll leave it at this because I need to get ready. Because I need to go and watch the movie, and I need to go meet my friend and say my goodbyes to him. That's crazy. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for listening to this episode, watching this episode. Viva España! I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and don't support genocide. Bye.